Hello, everybody, and welcome to the FILTERLESS podcast, the podcast where we talk about whatever the heck we want to talk about, however the heck we want to talk about it. My name is Cat or Catatonic if you come from YouTube, and today I am joined by my lovely waffle-loving co-host, AceofShame.
Hey, did you know that Kermit the Frog is the cause of 9/11 in the Muppet universe?
Yeah, actually, that checks out.
Wait a minute. What?
We'll explain it after, but no, it checks out. And today's guest episode, we have a special guest who has probably the worst take on proper breakfast foods, the pancake lover, Josh of the Multiplayer Podcast.
Dude, we are legion. There are billions of us that know the truth about the breakfast food world.
As I said, waffle loving, he just starts shaking his head in the Discord call. It was glorious.
Yeah, that's okay. I know the truth, and so does everybody else. If you need something with, fancy shapes to put you at ease, then that's cool. Some of us just prefer good texture and taste.
Okay.
I'm sorry, you saying waffles don't taste good?
There's a reason that every cheap hotel breakfast in the world serves waffles instead of pancakes.
Every cheap hotel breakfast in the world sells pancakes as well. At least the ones I've been to.
No,
I don't actually know about that. So do you guys want to know why Kermit is the cause of 9/11 in the Muppet universe, or should I just let that?
Please tell me this is a Miss Piggy joke in hiding.
No, this is an actual thing. This is an actual thing.
So in the 2002 TV film, It's a Very Muppet Christmas, there's a part where an angel shows Kermit what life is like if he was never born, and the Twin Towers are still there. But in the regular universe, they're gone, so something Kermit does in his life causes 9/11.
So, yeah, it was one of those things that just didn't age too well.
They forgot to edit them out.
Yeah. Well, they didn't know it was going to happen. What do you mean they forgot to edit them out?
Well, they clearly forgot if they weren't in the regular universe to begin with. But
they were.
I mean, let's be honest. The Muppets do some sketchy stuff from time to time. You ever go back and watch some old episodes like Sesame Street and the Muppets? You kind of see things in a little bit of a different light. Now.
This actually brings up something, or segues into something I kind of wanted to mention. Kids shows. Some of them are actually really freaking funny. Have you guys ever watched Bluey out of context? It's
no.
Okay, so
I refuse.
It's an Australian kids show, and I stumbled across YouTube shorts of just 5 or 6 clips of Bluey out of context, and they say some things. I'm like, you can say that in a kids show? That's allowed? So
there's always a blue dog for the next generation of kids, I guess.
Yeah.
So, Ace, you want to explain how this podcast works and what a guest episode is? Putting you on the spot.
Damn, thank you for that. Yeah, you could have warned me.
No, never.
Well, our podcast is what you said at the beginning, where we talk about whatever the heck we want to talk about, whenever the heck we want to talk about it. And a guest episode is when we bring on a third person, a guest, if you will, to join us in our topic, which today's topic is things we deserve to happen to us.
Yeah, don't worry, I deserved it.
Yeah.
But before we get into that, how's everyone doing today?
Dreadful.
Dreadful?
I'm not playing Remnant 2 right now.
Okay, buddy.
I'm doing pretty great, man. I'm not going to lie. It's Friday. Had a good day. Looking forward to the weekend. Got to play some Remnant with Ace yesterday, which was awesome. We had a blast playing that together. First time I've done co-op in Remnant 2. And yeah, man, we had a good time. Ace murdered me. Tried to pretend like it was an accident. And
he ate my face.
I saw what happened, and then I ate his face in return. So
does not seem out of character for Ace. You guys so you guys are enjoying the game so far, right?
It's really good, man.
We're loving it, man.
Worth the $50?
Yes, hot tip, go to CD Keys or one of the... Actually, CD Keys is pretty legit. GOG.com, or not GOG. Green Man Gaming is another good one. You can get it for $38.
I will be doing that then.
Selling your credit card information to foreign countries.
Yeah.
So I have not necessarily small talk, just a complaint. So I bought this new controller, right? And I can't use it because I have to download a software to update the controller. So when I hit A, it doesn't open my Xbox game bar on my computer. So I plug it in, I set it up, and I go to play a game, and I hit A, and it opens up my Xbox game bar, and I died. And I was kind of pissed, so I left.
Isn't that normally the Xbox button?
Yeah.
Does that?
No, they both do it.
Why?
I have no idea. And it's only for computers, so I'm sure it's like some sort of computer exclusive
You probably just need
thing.
the drivers for it.
Yeah.
That sounds like a driver problem.
Yeah. Well, I looked it up, and it's an actual feature that they intended.
Not on the A button.
No, it definitely is not.
Yeah, that's
or not
think
that they intended,
for,
but
wait a minute. All right, so you got the Elite controller, which, by the way, Mr. High Roller, successful podcaster over here. Some of us just have normal Xbox controllers.
I have a 360.
So, yeah, there you go. And so this button, the Xbox button, will pull up the game bar every time. But if the A button is pulling that up, something's wrong.
Well, it's not whoa, I just kicked my desk. It's not an uncommon problem because I looked it up and people on Reddit are like, yeah, so it's only the Xbox Elite, I think, Series 2, which is the one that I have. It's only that one that does that.
Weird.
Yeah, you should get drivers for it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I was excited because I'm like, yeah, new controller, and then I set it up, and I'm like, hey, it doesn't work right now because I need to do something to it. Anyways, I don't have a quick disturbing fun fact because I'm ill prepared for this episode, but we'll just count the Kermit cause 9/11 as my fun fact. I take that because I also knew that.
I did not know that, and that's a little disturbing now.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that are said in like songs and stuff that happened before 9/11 that immediately, like, you listen to them now, you're like, that's hilariously, like, that did not age well, and that's kind of funny that it didn't age well. Like, there's a rap song where the guy said blowing up like the World Trade, like 4 years before 9/11 happened.
What if Kermit died, or what if he was trying to be the hero? You know, like, in whatever world, what if it was like Mission Impossible and Kermit is out there but just fails instead of like succeeds?
So Kermit is the failed hero.
Yeah.
It's like a Final Destination
film.
I
mean, I'm just saying, like, you know, like, people naturally blame Kermit and say, oh, well, because if he was dead, this wouldn't have happened. But what if that's why he's dead?
That's why you had to go into theater.
He's like, shit, guys, I kind of goofed on this one. Anyways, I'm gonna start looking for an acting job.
Just gets out of the world of, you know, espionage and all that CIA stuff, and it's like, I'm just gonna be a puppet, man.
I like the idea of Kermit in like a suit with the glasses and like the clear earpiece, and he's like a super spy. That's hilarious.
Why haven't they remade Men in Black with Muppets?
Why would they?
Aren't there enough Muppets in Men in Black anyway? That's kind of every alien.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they are all made by the Jim Henson Company. That might be a touchy subject.
Anyways.
Yeah, anyway.
I don't want to have to... I'm not segueing from Kermit causing 9/11 into the topic. But yeah, today's topic is things we
They
deserved.
deserved it.
Hey. So the way this podcast works, when we have guests, each of us have around 3 stories, and we tell stories, discuss, and learn new things about people. Anyone want to go first?
I say you should go first, since you didn't even come up with your own fun fact.
Okay, that's fair.
Also, you said you were ill-prepared, so I feel like that's a fitting punishment.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. So my first story is titled, yeah, I bled on your spoons. My bad. So, as most people know, I own a butterfly knife. I actually own several, but this one's a spoon. But I decided one day, well, we went to the mall, and it was me, my friend Tristan and his girlfriend, and we were just kind of wandering around because we went to the iPhone repair place in the mall to fix both of our phones. And we decided, you know what, we're gonna just wander around. And I had my butterfly knife in my pocket. So we went to the Wooden Spoon, and we're kind of just like walking around. And I decided to try a brand new trick that I've never done before that involves flipping the blade over my hand, catching the other side, and then flipping it open. In theory, it's not hard. In practice, it's impossible. Mainly because my hand is a little wider and it doesn't go over my hand as well as I wanted it to. But I decided to try this with my very sharp butterfly knife, which I had just sharpened. And anyone out there learning butterfly knife tricks, one, don't practice things with a sharp one. And two, never sharpen your butterfly knife because it's not actually supposed to be used as a knife if you're going to be buying it for tricks. And I flip it over my hand. I fail the first time, went, oh yeah, that was kind of close. I probably should be careful. So then I do it again, reach out to grab it, and slice my finger open with the blade because I grabbed it by the blade. My friend Tristan saw it and goes, oh, nice catch. And then saw that I had immediately put my hand into my mouth to prevent bleeding all over the place. And he goes, did you just cut yourself? And I went, yeah. And he goes, is it bad? I go, yeah. And I had it was a diagonal cut into my finger. It might as well have just cut the tip of my finger off. It was awful. Yeah, so there was blood on the floor. Not a lot of blood. I told someone. I didn't know what else to do. And then we decided to keep wandering. And we go to the FYE that's right next door, which I had applied at, so I know the manager. And I went up to her and I said, hey, I just sliced my finger open. Do you guys have a Band-Aid? She goes, yeah. So she goes to the back. Someone is walking out of the employee area as she's walking in, and she goes, no. Do we have any Band-Aids in the first aid? The person looks her dead in the eyes and went, what did you do? And she's like, no, it's not for me this time. So she goes and grabs me a Band-Aid. I kid you not. I had pressure off of my finger for 5 seconds, and my hand was red. There was blood all over the floor. There was blood all over my hand. There was blood all over the floor and the wooden spoon. It was horrible. So I managed to wrap my finger up. And I'm kind of just looking at it. I'm like, that sucks. It didn't hurt. It was just a lot of blood. So I'm like, that kind of sucks. I go wash my hand. We go out through the day. My dumbass did not learn my lesson. I was at work at this point when I was working back at Hardee's. And I decided, you know what? We're going to stab this box with my butterfly knife because I'm bored. And I stabbed it and my hand slipped into the blade. And I sliced my finger again. Same finger, same spot. So, yeah, long story short, don't play with butterfly knives. They're not toys. They're dangerous and scary.
We need to take those away from you.
Have you thought about maybe just dulling the blade?
I don't use this one anymore until I have time to dull the blade. That's why I bought the spoon.
Is it the multiple self-inflicted injuries that caused that? Or
yeah.
Okay.
Well, okay.
I'm just making sure. I just wanted to, because you stabbed yourself twice, and is third time's the charm?
Yeah. So I've had this knife for about a year and have only cut myself twice. I'm normally pretty good at not cutting myself with it. I don't know why, what was wrong, other than the fact that I was being stupid. And as the title of the podcast implies, I deserved it.
So, speaking of knives, I have this Damascus knife that I actually had a blacksmith forge for me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm a knife nerd.
Nice.
I've had this for 3 years, I think.
Yeah, about that.
Never stabbed myself once.
I was about to ask, how many times have you cut yourself with it?
Once. Yeah.
I've had.
It's almost like it's a dangerous weapon that you should.
I've had this one, this utility knife. I've had this for 5 years, and I've never cut myself with it.
And he just cut himself.
Oh, God, my finger's gone. But
I
no,
could say I've never cut myself with any of my bigger blades, but
Yeah.
the
I
only
have some katanas out in the garage. Never cut myself with them.
the only knife that I've cut myself is the one you're not supposed to cut yourself with because you shouldn't be being dumb with it, and it's the butterfly knife. Everything else, I'm pretty lucky and pretty careful with my other knives because I keep them kind of sharp. Yes,
Is that lucky or unlucky?
lucky to not cut with myself with my other knives.
I gotcha.
The butterfly knife, that was my own stupidity. The fact that I was playing with it in a freaking store says enough.
yeah,
I mean,
why
that
did
is
you have
kind
a
of the
knife out
topic
of the
of this.
store?
Huh?
Yeah. Oh, that's another good point.
Yeah, like why do you have a knife in public?
Good point, Ace.
Yeah, why do you have a knife in public?
I should whip this knife out in public.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking. I'm going to be honest. Again, that's why
That
I
is
bought
kind
the
of the
spoon.
topic of this episode, though, right?
Yeah.
What if Paul Blart was there? He would have tackled your
Oh
ass.
man, mall cop, you'd have been flattened.
Well, my butterfly knife is legal, so we're good. It's just under the legal inches that it's supposed to be, and butterfly knives are legal in Florida as long as they're single-sided.
Oh, okay.
But no, I take the the spoon out in public now, so I don't slice my hand open, and so people don't get worried about it because I'm flipping a knife.
You see, I just have a fidget spinner if I need to fidget with something. I don't need a knife.
That's a good idea.
I mean, I used to have rings,
Or-
but my rings
Or a
disappeared.
knife or a spoon that basically looks like a knife.
Switch spoon?
Yeah.
Yeah, the old switch spoon.
Like the
Never
color-
know when you're
Yeah.
gonna need that emergency cereal, man.
I mean, it's funny because I actually, so I always carry it because I fidget with it, and I brought it to an ice cream place that I frequent, and they know me, and they offer me the spoon, and my dumbass was like, flick, 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 I'm covered, and it wasn't funny. It was actually quite stupid.
No one laughed.
No
I'm
one
just
laughed.
picturing like a world where like aliens come down and they're giant blobs of ice cream. Everybody's freaking out. The cat's like, "It's my time! I got these guys!"
He just dual wields them.
No, it's I bought this one, and then on the site that I bought it on, I'm like, wait, they sell forks too? So as soon as those are back in stock, I'm gonna have a fork, a spoon, and a knife.
Man, he's
That's-
ready for dinner.
Anyways, who wants to go next?
You know what?
Uh,
You
go
want
ahead,
to go?
Ace. No, well, I was gonna jump in, but if you want to go,
Yeah, all right. I mean, mine's pretty short in comparison. It's not nearly as bloody. So thankfully, because it involves my parents. So
The title of this one kind of scares me after you say it involves my parents.
yeah, we'll get to it. So I don't know how many people know or how many people I've told, but I was homeschooled for high school and most of middle school. So all of the keys and answers to things were always left out where I could maybe get them. And and there was always a spelling test every week. You know, sometimes you study for the spelling test, you do well. Sometimes you're just a naturally good speller, and sometimes you're a lazy teenager like me. And Mom sets out the spelling test. She walks out of the room to go do something, and I get up from where I'm at, run over to the key, and basically quickly draw myself a copy of all the answers and write them on the test. And I don't know what to do with this key, so I shove it in my pocket for now. And I leave, and my mom checks the test, says, "All right, you did good. You can go on the camping trip this weekend." It's like, "Oh, great. I could do that." I go up to my room, and I decide to hide the key. Instead of throwing it away or taking it with me, I decided to hide the key in one of the books on my shelf.
What book
So-
was it? That's
that
the
seems
real
like
question.
a good hiding spot for a key.
You would think,
Yeah.
but no, apparently not. I hid it in the Swiss Family Robinson. That's the book I hid it in.
I thought it was gonna be like, yeah, I hid it in the dictionary or I hid it in the Bible.
No, I didn't do
Those
that.
would be funny.
I did not do that. So I go on my camping trip. I'm gone for like 2-3 days. It's like a backpacking trip. We
Yeah.
take the hammocks, we take the stuff like that. Gone for 2 days. We actually had to go back early because one of my cousins was whittling and cut off the tip of his finger.
Hey,
Yeah, he was doing something with the knife. He wasn't playing with it.
Okay.
We're on the way back, and we get a call in the car from my mom. It's like, he can't stop at grandma's. He needs to come home immediately. And I'm just immediately like, oh no, what happened?
Uh-oh.
Oh no, what happened?
She found the key.
Yeah. I get home. Nobody talks to me. Nobody greets me. I walk upstairs to my room. It's been flipped upside down.
Oh, no.
This is where I have discovered my parents have gone through all my stuff while I was gone. They found the tablet I had stashed under my bed because I was living life a little more worldly than they would have liked, I'll say. A little more free. And then I see the book laying on my desk, face open. And I'm
busted.
And I'm not one to say my parents beat me, but they came pretty damn close with how much they wailed on my ass with that yardstick.
Damn.
But I deserved it. I was a cheater. I cheated. I cheated on the spelling test. I cheated on everything.
Well, here's what I would have done. You put it in the book.
Cheated myself out of an education, you know.
Do you use that education? Let's be honest.
No.
Okay.
I have Google spell check.
So what I would have done is I would have shoved it in the book and then taken the book with me. And if they question it, it's like, oh yeah, car ride. I just want to have something to do.
My family would know I'm lying immediately.
Yeah, that's drawing attention to. Yeah.
Just shove it in your backpack. They won't know.
All right. Spell remorse, Ace.
Oh no. REMORSE.
It worked. See? Look at that. You know, they say cheaters never win.
But yeah.
Never cheat.
So not nearly as bloody, but I was just as red afterwards. I almost got thrown out of the house for that. I was like 16. My parents threatened to send me to military school.
It's crazy what parents will get bent out of shape about, man.
I remember.
As you guys will hear, I've done some pretty stupid stuff in my younger days.
Yeah, these titles I'm excited for.
But it's funny because like one of the worst times my parents ever like flipped out on me was because I skipped school for like one day.
Really?
You know, and it was like, and I got straight busted, man, straight busted. Tried calling out, like tried pretending to be my dad, and like, calling out and everything, you know, and then like called my girlfriend out of school, like, and her school bought it. So then I'm like, oh, this is great, man. And I tried it. It's
like
on my
Ferris
school.
Bueller's day off.
Honestly, it was, but like apparently, like the lady at my school was much like she cared a little bit more, was smarter than the other lady. And like she actually like called my dad to like verify him. I was like, no, he's supposed to be there. And then I got hard busted, man. But yeah, that was like some of the worst trouble I've ever gotten in.
I've never skipped class or skipped school, but there was one day where we had like study hours during COVID because our classes were longer. So if you were failing a class, in order to make sure you weren't going to fail the year, they'd stick you into essentially a study period for the second half of lunch instead of giving you an hour long for lunch. And I was failing 2 classes at the time. And they both put me in study hour, but only one of them told me. So I went to the one that I was told, and then I got an absence marked in the one that I wasn't, and they called my mom and said that I was skipping classes. They didn't say what class. They didn't explain. It was just an automated voice message saying your student is skipping classes. That was it. And yeah, it was awful.
And then Cat got beat within an inch of his life.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
With a spoon.
Yeah, with the spoon.
This one had holes in it.
Oh, gosh. It whistles.
It's like a bottle rocket. It even has a report, too.
Yeah,
Anyways.
I think the worst thing that came out of that for me was after everything was all said and done and they'd gone through my tablet, realized I had like a Facebook, a YouTube, and all these things I wasn't supposed to. They basically started making me work for our preacher, like for free in his backyard.
What? That is
and I
bizarre.
had to talk. They tried very hard to convert me at every moment. Eventually, I stopped pretending I had a free will and just went with it until I got out, man. They were very aggressive about it.
Anyways, Josh, it is your turn.
Oh boy, stupid things we've done that we deserved the outcome on. Let me take you guys back many years ago to my high school days as any young dumb teenage boy.
So this is this is like around the time dictionaries were invented.
It's a long time ago, yeah. So got my friend group. We're hanging out. We had some really good friends that were girls. They were twins. They were just part of our friend group. And one of my friends had kind of started dating one of them. And then I got wind that one of them liked me. So we kind of started dating for a little while and stuff. It was just fun. It was high school. Like nobody cares about anything. Nothing's too serious. And so I forget what happened, but me and the first twin broke up for some reason, right? Like it just, whatever. It just wasn't working out. And then her sister was like, hey, I like you. Like, do you want to date? And I was like, sure, let's do that. I'm obviously simplifying all this a lot. But so then I start dating the sister and things are, fine, whatever. Again, high school, nothing too crazy or serious. But I remember hanging out with my best friend and them one night. And I remember that the first twin came up to me at one point and said, I think I've made a mistake. I like you and I would give anything in the world to be able to just kiss you.
He fell into the trap.
And I just I'm a dumb teenager, man. Like all these stories are going to just revolve around this. But I just remember thinking here is this plea, right? Like she said she would give anything in the world just for a kiss.
Big
and
words.
So I was like, well, who am I to deny somebody their ultimate, so I did. And then I completely thinking that her sister is standing right there, like the person that I'm dating, you know what I mean, is literally standing right there. And I just was I thought I was being nice. You know what I mean? Like she said it's the most important thing and I was like, okay, well, shoot, that's easy enough. And then I just remember my buddy giving me this really, you ever see a friend do something really stupid, pull out a butterfly knife in a mall or something like that? You know what I mean? Where they just kind of cut their eyes at you and you're just kind of what, dude? And then and I was like, dude, I don't think you realize what you just did.
I've been that friend. Friend that I just look at one of them. I've been that friend.
So current girlfriend pulls me aside and she's like, hey, Josh, come here. And I don't know that I've done anything wrong at this point, right? So she's like, hey, Josh, come here. And I'm like, hey, yeah. And I'm like, hey, what's up? And she slaps the tar out of me. It's the only time in my life I've ever been slapped by somebody. And I just remember being like, what was that? And then she was like, you just kissed my sister. And then I was like, oh, that was a really bad thing. And then my buddy is just cracking up, dude. He watched me get waylaid, man. And then it was funny because it was now I'm all apologetic. And I'm I didn't, she said she'd do anything in the world. It was really important. She's like, you're an idiot.
It was just a kiss.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was like, you might be right, man. I might be really dumb. Oops. And then later on, my buddy was like, dude, I don't know what you were thinking, man, but that was really stupid. And then I was just like, yeah, I probably really deserved that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Getting slapped sucks.
Yeah.
It really sucks.
Yeah. In hindsight, I'm like, dude, that was the dumbest thing. I've really, really stupid. But I don't know. And the weird thing was, it wasn't it had nothing to do with I'm getting a kiss, ooh, action or anything like that. This was just I felt bad. It was okay.
It was a pity kiss.
Yeah, it was pity. It didn't mean anything to you.
Yeah.
But don't say that. That'll get you double slapped.
Yeah, yeah. See, now I'm wiser. Now I just go oh, yeah, you shouldn't say that either.
It's in retrospect, that wasn't the best idea.
Yeah.
Oh God. Up to you.
Yeah,
again,
I would. I would say like, oh yeah, here's my experience with that, but that is the most like least relatable thing. That is a very specific experience. I don't think anyone else has had that. Like, oh yeah, I kissed my my girlfriend's twin sister. Like,
and thus my inability to react properly.
I don't have like any relationship stories since I've only ever been in one.
Yeah, I mean, I have some, but they're not good, so they're not going to be shared on this podcast. They're not like, yeah.
She stabbed him
Anyways,
with a butter knife.
Fly. You forgot the fly part.
Nah, it's funny.
Anyways.
It's a butter knife.
Anyways, on to story 2. So, hey, this also took place in high school, which wasn't as far away as Josh's was, but feels like a long time ago, probably because I probably killed a couple brain cells. So back in high school, I would get 0 sleep, go to school. This was my senior year, so I was driving to school, and I had a job, so I had a little bit of money. So every morning I'd stop by the gas station and get like 6 monsters and put them in my backpack, and I would just have those. And normally I would drink them throughout the week, but one day, I can't even say why I did this, but I decided, yeah, we're just gonna drink them throughout the day. I think it was more along the lines of I didn't sleep the night previous. I was exhausted, so
your poor
I cracked.
heart.
Yeah. I used to drink around like 1,800 milligrams of caffeine a day.
Oh.
Yeah, and I have a family history of heart conditions.
How are you alive?
I don't know. It's that luck aspect. Anyways, I think it was that day, I drank 3 monsters, didn't eat anything. My friend gave me a bang, and then our vending machines had the Mountain Dew Kickstarts, which are like really low level energy drinks, about 50 milligrams a can. Yeah, I drank like 10 of those.
Dude.
And didn't
Where
eat
are you
anything.
putting them?
I didn't eat anything that day either, and I got onto into my car, and I sat down, and my vision did like a wobble. I'm like, hey, wait, that's not good. I also wasn't drinking water. That was all I was drinking, was these carbonated energy drinks. And, yeah, I got home, threw up, and just like passed the fuck out because my head hurt.
You got an energy drink.
My heart hurt. Yeah, my heart hurt. And the funniest part about this, the more of the I didn't learn my lesson, is this was the first time I did it out of 3 separate occasions. One time I got this new cup that had a mixer. It's used for protein shakes, but I was using it for G-Subs at the time. And I got this flavor I really liked. And it was more of, I wasn't realizing how much I was drinking. I would just make myself another one because it was really good. And then I got through my like 9th one and my heart started hurting. I'm like, yeah, I probably shouldn't drink this one. I'm going to be honest. I was just watching TV and drinking G-Subs all day. It was terrible.
Oh my gosh.
So one of the reasons why I know that's not a human thing to do, my friend Jade attempted to do what he called Cat's caffeine diet, which was just drink energy drinks throughout the day. And I looked him dead in the face. I went, Jade, no, you are fucking stupid. That wasn't healthy. I am still suffering the consequences to that because I have a caffeine addiction that is insatiable. That is not a good thing. And he goes, yeah, I drank the first one and threw up.
Jeez, dude.
Yeah, I have no idea how I didn't just not wake up that day. It was terrible.
Now Kat wonders why his heart flutters in his chest randomly.
Yeah. Well, now I drink Liquid Death
water
teas.
in a can.
Oh no, this is tea. This is the teas.
They make tea?
So, yeah, it's actually pretty good.
I prefer Arizona.
Okay.
Ooh, that's some good stuff.
That's so good.
Yeah.
I haven't had in Arizona, but I also don't really. I like buy something. I'm like, oh shit, I wanted to try Arizona today.
It's like 70 cents.
Yeah, but if I go to a gas station or like go to buy something for like drink wise, it's either gonna be water or liquid death tea, because I don't think to buy the Arizona, and it's 99 cents here.
See, I'll be the first to admit I don't drink enough water, but
Yeah.
I definitely don't drink that many energy drinks, especially now that I'm off the graveyard shift.
Yeah. I drink, yeah, like I said, about 1,800 milligrams of caffeine. I did that twice, regretted it. And then I used to have, like, I'd be that person where you could ask me for an energy drink and I'd give you one out of my backpack because I had them.
Jeez, that is scary.
Yeah, it was terrifying. And like I said, I have a family history of heart problems.
How bad's your heartburn on the daily?
Oh, awful.
A lot worse now than it was before.
Oh yeah, terrible. When I get stressed, my body stopped responding to stress in a healthy way. So when I get super stressed, my acid reflux gets up to like my throat and then closes my throat. So
Jeez.
I can't breathe.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
it's bad. I probably should go to the doctor about it, but it's gotten better. Kind of.
Just don't tell him.
I'm going to need a new podcast to migrate to, Josh, when Cat keels over.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Okay.
Oh, no, he's dead.
It'll happen during a recording, too.
Or a stream. It's just... I want you to take that stream and just... YouTuber dies.
Get as many views from it as you can.
Not clickbait.
Yeah.
I want you to milk my death.
Summoning Dr. Catatonic's ghost at 3 a.m. Okay. So,
anyways, your turn.
So, I live up here in lovely Virginia where there's a lot of nature. It's real pretty.
Yeah.
How many of you guys have gone river rafting? Like just or float
I just
or just
actually went whitewater rafting.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like a month ago.
Oh, it's a
I'm
blast.
scared of water.
Oh, well then not Cat. But
Thus he drinks 1,800 milligrams of caffeine a day instead. Guys,
I'm scared
water,
of-
really dangerous. Super loaded chemical drinks. Count me in, boys.
Okay, I've switched to low chem. I no longer drink Monsters. I no longer drink Bangs. I drink G Subs and W because I'm sponsored by them. I just spilled tea on my.
I like that you implied that they're somehow better for you.
he's hydrophobic.
Okay, I'm
Guys, I
scared
don't
of.
drink the drinks. I've gone straight to solid powders.
No, I don't like bodies of water. I'm scared of bodies of water. I drink water bottles.
I don't drink energy drinks anymore. It's
Yeah.
cocaine for me now.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's cheaper than gas. I could just snort cocaine and run everywhere for the price of a tank of gas.
All right, so you're on this water.
Oh, yeah.
You're on this water rafting trip, Ace.
Yeah. So this was before we had a bit of a falling out with Ven's side of the family, and we'd all gone out to just float the river on these rafts. And yeah, I can't see anything without my glasses, and I didn't want to go anywhere without them. So for a long time, I'm wearing them while I'm we're in the river, we're floating. I'm wearing my glasses, but I decided I want to go swimming. So I see that we have the cooler roped up beside us.
Oh no!
It's got all the drinks and stuff in it. So I toss my glasses in the cooler. I toss my wedding ring in the cooler because I don't want to lose that while I'm swimming. I go off to swim and we start to hit these rapids. Ven had actually joined me at this point and put their glasses in there as well. And the cooler tips.
Oh no!
Oh no! The wedding ring.
Yeah, I lost my first wedding ring that way.
Oh, that's terrible.
I lost my wedding ring, my glasses. I think Ven lost their wedding ring as well, actually, while searching for mine. And then we lost Ven's glasses as well. We luckily
Were you doing the dive down and just hoping to randomly see something at the bottom?
Yeah, did not find them.
Oh,
It was devastating because I can't drive without my glasses. So we were so lucky that Ven had a backup pair in the car.
I do feel like, like the cooler is a reasonable place to think that things would be okay. It's a box, right? Like it's a sturdy box. Like this is not an unreasonable thing to assume.
I thought it would be safe. I really did. I put them in there, and
I have a similar story. It's a quick one. We have in Florida, we have a lot of springs in this one area. I'm not even going to try to say cardinal directions because screw that. But we go up to these springs every once in a while, and as long as the water is clear, it doesn't trigger my phobia. So as long as I can see what's underneath me, I'm for the most part fine. So I'm chilling on I don't remember the name of the river, but it's basically a lazy river. It's a naturally occurring lazy river. And we get these rafts, we go to the river, we pay our tickets, we throw them in there, and we had brought like goggles and stuff so we could snorkel and like see, because there are fish in the water. So we have goggles and all this stuff. I have prescription goggles, so my goggles are like $400.
Damn.
So I have mine on at all times because I can't see otherwise. I had my glasses in the car to prevent losing them and whatnot. But my brother, I think it was, decided he wanted to go just swim around without the goggles. So he threw his goggles into one of the rafts. And then someone decided they wanted to jump from their raft to his raft and tipped the raft and lost his goggles, my mom's goggles, everyone's flippers, like 3 snorkels, just gone.
Gosh.
And I'm like, damn, that sucks. Meanwhile, I have my goggles on because I was scared of losing them, and that would be the place that I would have put them because that raft had like walls to it. But the entire raft flipped and everything that was in it dumped out. It was, yeah. I think someone found one of the 3 pairs of goggles that got lost.
I've lost fishing poles kayaking that way. Someone just decides to bump into you, kayak flips, and there goes the fishing pole. Gone forever.
Yeah. Anyway, who wants to go next?
Well, technically it's Josh.
It's me, I think.
Oh yeah, I
it's my
forgot
turn,
about that.
Right?
Yeah.
So, again, dumb days. I used to dabble in the substances that you shouldn't do. And so I just remember one time where a buddy, like one of my best friends, we were dating 2 best friends. So like my girlfriend's best friend was his girlfriend kind of thing. So it was like, we were always hanging out together. So we decide this is when, I'm going to date myself a little bit here, but this is when the original Mortal Kombat movie came out in the movie theater. And I just remember thinking like, this movie looks fantastic. And like not Oscar winning, but like, this is just going to be a dumb, fun movie to go see. And, so we're like, we're going to the mall. Like, let's go see this movie on a double date. And it was, we were young. It was just Friday night, something fun to go do. But we may have been under the influence of some hallucinogenics at the time. And so we get to the mall and we have this plan of like, okay, the movie theater's right by the entrance, but we don't want to pay like $8 for a movie theater drink. So we're going to go get the tickets for the movie. Josh, you go and get a big drink so that we can all have something to drink. And I was like, oh yeah, this is great. Great idea. So we get into the mall and things start to kick in. And I remember going up to this, it was like the Gyro place. I can't remember. It's like some chain. I don't know. You see it in a food court in every mall. And I remember like telling the lady, like, I wanted a pink lemonade. And I just remember her handing me the drink and reaching out for the drink and then thinking like, this feels really, really weird. And just kind of staring at the drink for what seemed like an eternity. And then the lady's just looking at me. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I got to pay. That's right. So it's like now things are really starting to get very, very weird. And I just remember at that moment, like turning around and seeing everything going on in the mall and then having no idea why I was there. And I had no clue where my friends were at the time either. So then I'm like, okay, like wait, like this, this is not good, guys. Like this is a lot to take in. So then I'm trying to figure out like where are they? Where did they go? So I'm just thinking, oh, the arcade, right? Like that's obviously the place. So I start wandering through this arcade, which is a really bad idea in that situation. And I have no idea how long I'm in the arcade. I cannot find my friends. Now I'm starting to get like worried because I'm like, I don't know how much time has passed. I don't know where anybody is. And then it finally dawns on me, oh yeah, we're going to see a movie. So I walk up to the movie theater entrance, don't see my friends anywhere. I'm staring at the lady at the ticket counter. She's looking at me like I've done lost my mind, which I probably had at the time. You know what I mean? And like we had this weird stare off contest for a little while. So then I'm like, oh my goodness. So I was like, maybe I remember walking around the food court area and there was a long hallway that goes to the bathrooms in the mall. And I remember looking down this hallway and seeing my buddy down at the end of the hallway. And I was like, oh my goodness, thank you. I found him. But then I had to walk down what was the longest hallway that somebody could ever imagine in the world, because to me, it just kept stretching longer and longer as I was like walking down it. Anyway. Finally meet up with my friends. We go see the movie. That is a trip, literally and figuratively at that point. I mean, yeah, it was bad, man. I don't honestly know how long I wandered around like in the food court area and the arcade. Like, look, and like in all reality, I think it was probably like 3 minutes total, because all I had done was gone and getting a drink, and then they were like, "Oh, we're gonna go to the bathroom before we go to the movie." But yeah, don't do that. It's not a good thing. Trust me.
Drugs are a hell of a drug.
Drugs are a hell of a drug.
Yeah.
Did you remember the movie, or was it just like you're looking at the screen?
Oh no,
like,
I remember all of it. It was super. I mean, this is not condoning things, but it was super cool. Like,
don't do drugs. Yeah. FILTERLESS does not endorse drug use.
Just, it was really
for
legal purposes. Really no, FILTERLESS does not endorse drug use for legal purposes.
Take your antidepressants.
Yeah.
Okay. Holy shit.
I came real close to like freaking out. Thankfully I didn't, but it was like there was like a moment or two where it was like, I don't know where I am.
So you didn't quite cross over into bad trip.
No, thankfully not.
Because that's when things get bad.
Yeah, it was close. I mean, it was right there, but thankfully it didn't end up there. I still wonder, like, would I be wandering around that food court, like, still?
To this day, he wanders the mall.
I have a friend that I think he went to McDonald's and did acid at McDonald's.
Why?
And had a terrible trip, and he comes to me the next day. He looks like terrible. Like, he looks like he's hungover, and I go, dude, you okay? And he goes, yeah, I did acid yesterday. Never doing that shit again.
Acid doesn't even make you hungry, so you just be like, why am I here?
Yeah,
that was more of
why is this like...
Yeah, it was more of
food.
It was more of that's where they meet up.
Yeah,
it was more of that's where they met up.
Hang out would be the thing.
Of course, it'd be at McDonald's, though.
There was another person. I hung out with like 3 or 4 different friend groups. So I had the people that were the stoners that were was in their friend group. I had the depressed kids. I had the band kids, and I had the ROTC kids for some reason. And I was hanging out with one of the groups, and he was at McDonald's. Again, it always happens at McDonald's for these friend groups, I swear. But he had gotten so high, I think it was weed, and he was really hungry, and they had just pulled the fries out of the fryer, but he was hungry and high, so he didn't realize it. And then straight out of the fryer, straight into his mouth. And melted his mouth. He couldn't feel it. He was so high, he couldn't feel it. Until the next day. He's
gonna regret that. Yeah. When things just start sloughing off.
Yeah.
I have had so many opportunities to get high, and I just never take them. I never do it.
Listen,
mostly my
I don't
job.
have a reason.
Mostly my job.
Yeah, I don't have a reason to. I've never done.
I mean, weed is basically legal here. I could do it. I just don't.
Yeah. I just just enjoy your teenage years, but then get smart.
Yeah.
Start exercising before you're 30.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the best tip I can give you.
Who's next? Who wants to go
That'd
next?
be you, sir.
You're next.
Yeah.
Do I have to go next? No, I'm asking who wants to go next. See if people want to interject their stories instead.
I mean, I just told you mine.
Yeah, I guess
that's fair.
that'd be me next then, if you want me to finish up and just.
I
sit
mean,
here.
mine's okay. So my third story is literally just titled parkour. It is not one story. This is again similar to the butterfly knife. I didn't learn my lesson. So when I was younger, me and my friend would watch like hundreds of parkour videos, and then we'd learn how to do these things. And we're like, yeah, we could do that. And then we would, for the most part, we'd suck at it because we're like 13 years old and not really processing what's happening. But there's like, I learned how to do a front flip front flip. So I did a front flip off of an air conditioning unit at one point. And I went to a friend's house in the neighborhood because I used to hang out with neighborhood people before I hated people. And we decided we're going to set up a parkour course, and I'm going to teach you. My 13-year-old ass is going to teach you how to do parkour. So in this teaching process, we have this one where you step off of a chair and vault over a fence. And I stepped off the chair, got halfway up the fence before the chair leg broke, and I just like split the difference down the fence. Like right into the crotch.
Oh.
And I had a recording on my phone for the longest time of me doing this. It wasn't a very tall fence. It was like to my shoulders now. Back then it was about to my eye level. I didn't grow very much, but yeah, it's just straight split the difference. In the video, you see me hit the fence, fall off of the fence into someone's flower garden, which had thorns in it.
Oh.
And then I stand up, kind of like waddle over to the person with my iPod who is recording the video, and then just crawl into the fetal position onto the floor. It was miserable. And like I said, I didn't learn my lesson. This one, the second time that, again, it involved a fence. This happened in high school. It was after a band, I think a band performance. It was a marching band performance after a football game. I'm waiting for someone to come pick me up. So I think probably freshman or sophomore year. I'm waiting for someone to come pick me up. And a bunch of these band kids decide, you know what? We're bored. We're going to jump over this fence. Like, it was a taller fence because it was outside the school, so it was to keep people out. So it was a relatively tall chain link fence. And I decided, oh yeah, I'll join you guys. So we all ran at the fence. I cleared it, sliced my hand open down the middle, like of my palm, and then just sat down. And the people who jumped the fence with me were on the other side of the fence. They also like looked at me and went, "You good?" I'm like, "Yeah, I just sliced my hand open on the fence." And they go, "What?" And I went, "Yeah, I sliced my hand open." And there's like blood down my hand. I'm like, this is terrible. So I just put my marching band glove over it and called it a day. And I threw that glove away when I got home. So there's a lot of Cat didn't learn his lesson. And
sensing a trend here, Cat.
Yeah. I think Cat should have to wear gloves for the rest of his life. Like cut resistant gloves.
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to that. So, yeah, that fence, I don't know how I was the only person that got my hand sliced open. In retrospect, it wasn't one of the ones where they curled the edges of the top of the fence over. It had them twisted, so it was like barbed wire.
Oh, yeah.
I have no idea how I was the only one that sliced my hand open because they did the same exact thing I did.
Top of those chain link fences will get you.
Yeah, so after that, I stopped doing parkour. So I learned my lesson after the second time.
That ended your parkour career?
Yeah.
How you doing on your butterfly knife career, Kat?
Oh, it's. I haven't touched it in a while.
That one's still going strong.
Yeah, I haven't touched it in a while. I moved to the butterfly spoon.
All right, that's smart.
All right, I guess.
On the topic of cutting one's hands, Ace, it's your turn.
I'm sensing a trend on this episode.
All right, so
I feel like I need to come up with like a I hurt myself story.
Well, I didn't mean for it to be like this, honestly. If I'd known
I was
how many
cutting
other
carrots.
stories there were.
I was cutting carrots.
We've all
And then
heard
my finger became the carrot.
We've all heard the saying, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Am I right?
That's
we're
literally
all, we're
my
all
life,
familiar
but
with
sure.
that?
Yeah.
How familiar are we all with the game Five Finger Fillet?
Oh, no.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one where you stab the spaces in between your hole, right?
Yep.
The spaces in between your fingers.
So I used to be
no.
really good at that when I was like 15. And one day I decided I was going to do it with a slightly bigger knife than I usually do, just to show my cousin how I could do it. And they'd written a song at this point that you could sing while you were doing it. So I take this butcher knife, which don't use a butcher knife. And I just start going, I have all my fingers, but the knife goes chop, chop, chop. If I miss the spaces in between, my finger will come off. And then I hit my middle finger and off comes the tip.
How much of the tip of your finger?
Like enough that it also trimmed my nail.
Oh shit! So like a good portion of your finger, huh?
Yeah. And
Holy
I didn't want
crap.
to. I decided not to tell anyone about this and just wrapped up my finger and I put the knife back in the knife block, which was a hazard. I understand.
How's your Five Finger Fillet career going?
You know, I don't play Five Finger Fillet. I'm retired. You know, about 50 wins and 1 loss. You know, I had to cut it there before things got bad.
Well, you did cut it there. Like,
I was wondering if you picked up on that pun there. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't play Five Finger Fillet anymore.
I cut off the tip of my finger with a pair of scissors.
Why?
Guys,
So-
I work with power tools. I have a garage filled with like woodworking tools with things that like can kill you. I've never cut my fingertips off. What are you guys doing?
Okay, so it wasn't.
I just
a
told
lot
you
of
what I
my
was
finger.
doing. Being stupid.
It wasn't a lot of my finger. It was like a very, very small portion, enough for it to hit my shirt, and I'm like, hey, that was part of my finger. But so I have severe ADHD, and sometimes I zone out and not realize what I'm doing. Like, just completely, like, I'm doing something with my hands, but I don't know what's going on. I'm not paying attention to that. And the day that I was zoning out, I was at work when I worked at Hardee's, and I had a pair of scissors, and I guess I was fidgeting with the scissors, and I managed to just cut the tip of my pinky off. Just a portion of it just hit my shirt, and I looked down and went, what the fuck just happened? And I look at my friend, and he's like, his eyes are really wide. He goes, you just cut your finger. And I went, huh, that's weird. I go to the office, I wrap my finger up. My boss is in the office, and she like looks at me, looks at the first aid kit that I'm pulling out off the wall, looks back at her computer like this shit again, because I'm the one person that manages to cut myself in a job setting. 90% of the time, it's not even on a knife.
You're the trouble child.
Yeah. At least I'm only causing trouble for myself.
It's like
that's all I'll say.
It's like
I
that
mean,
Harry
you did
Potter
bleed
scene.
all over a store in a mall too, so
Yeah.
which is technically a biohazard. So
You owe that FYE damages.
They saw it. For the most part, I was keeping the blood off of me. It was like running down my arm. At one point in time, my friend Tristan goes to like catch it, and I went, "Don't! It is mine."
It's mine.
At least I'm like, at least I have a sense of humor about it. It's like, no, it's my blood.
Don't take
it. Realistically, I just didn't want me to bleed on him because that's a biohazard.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm not
All right,
very
Josh.
smart sometimes.
You ready to round us out?
Oh boy. All right. Let's see. Stupid things. So, all right. Man, this is people are gonna listen to this and be like, "You guys are idiots," and it's like, yeah, that's kind of the point.
That's the point.
Yeah,
of the
this is the
podcast.
point of this episode.
So, I remember one night, me and a buddy just out and about, cruising around the town, nothing to do, and we were cruising through some neighborhood. I don't even know why. I think maybe he was trying to find a house for like, I don't know, somebody that he knew or something. Anyway, we're cruising around And it's late at night. It's probably 11 o'clock at night, something like that. And I'm like, dude, I got to pee. So just pull over. And he stopped at a stop sign is what it was. And I'm like, hey, just chill here for a second. I got to pee. And then he's like, right here? And I'm like, yeah, it's late at night. Like, there's nobody around. So I jump out of the car. I just go pee. Like, this is a, 20-second ordeal, right? I'm like, it'll be plenty fine. So I get back in the car. And lo and behold, we see some headlights behind us. And we start to go, and the headlights follow us. And my buddy's like, dude, I think that's a cop. And I'm like, who cares? We haven't done anything wrong. And I remember the cop following us for several blocks. And my buddy is like, dude, I'm telling you, he's going to pull us over. I'm like, why? Like, we haven't done anything. Cop never turns his lights on. He is just trailing behind us for blocks and blocks and blocks at a time. So finally, my buddy's like, dude, I'm just going to start heading like back towards your house. This guy's making me really nervous. I'm like, that's fine. So we get to like it's a small little town, but it's like the busy like downtown area. And I'm not talking skyscrapers. I'm just talking like stores at this point because we lived in Louisiana.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
And the cop is still behind us. We're out of the neighborhoods. We're near like businesses and stuff like that. And we come up to a red light. So my buddy's driving super cautious at this point. And out of the red light come two cop cars and literally roadblock the intersection right in front of us. And then all of the cop cars turn their lights on at the same time. It was a red light. Sorry. Like they came from the side streets, but they literally pulled out in front of us, blocked the street. There was a cop behind us. And they all turn their lights on simultaneously. And we're just like,
it's a sting.
What is going on? Like, that's honestly what we thought, right? And we're like, oh my goodness. And then so the cops get out and they're like, get out of the car. And we're like, oh my, okay. So we get out of the car. The cops come over. They're patting us down. I mean, this is full on just, like scene going on. And we're talking to him and we're like, dude, what is happening? Like, why are you guys doing that? And the guy was like, we saw you jump in your car in this neighborhood and you were stealing like speakers and stuff out of somebody's car. Well, I had like a big system in my car with the big, 12-inch speakers in the back and a nice, like head unit and all that stuff. And the cops are accusing me of stealing this stuff. And so they are patting us down, searching us. They thought that we were canvassing like the neighborhood, which is why we were driving around all the blocks while the guy was following us. Mm-hmm. And then now me and my buddy are like, oh, wait a minute. Like, we're not in trouble here. Like, we didn't do anything wrong. And so they're looking in my car and they're like, you stole these speakers back here. And I just remember like at this point, because I knew we hadn't done anything wrong, I start getting like a little bit of attitude with the cops at this point. I'm like,
well,
they're literally hooked up. Like they're wired to the car. Like we didn't steal it. What do you think? We stole them and then like ran wires and cables? Do you think we mounted this CD player in the dash in like the like while you were following us? And then the cops did not like that very much. So but like ultimately like they had nothing, man, like nothing to go on. But it was just crazy because this whole thing started and this went on like for a couple hours, man. Like they don't do anything fast. They're searching my car. They're searching us. No. They're doing all this stuff, man. They're calling in the K9 units and everything else to make sure we're not drug smugglers and everything. And ultimately they just couldn't do anything because, we hadn't done anything wrong at the point. But I remember the cop saying, what were you doing at that stop sign? I saw you jump in your car. And I was like, oh, like he saw me like peeing on the side of the road, but he didn't know what I was doing at the time. So, it was one of those, like, that is what started this whole ordeal. So maybe that wasn't the best idea, like at the time.
How did they react to that news?
It was funny. He was just like, oh, I could cite you for that. And I was just like, at this point, they didn't have anything, so it was just like, okay. But I actually told him, I was like, dude, I was peeing. I had to go. And it was just, so maybe not the best idea. If you can wait, but it was nuts, man. I've never seen it. Like the only thing I can think of is small town cops with nothing else to do on a Friday night.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But by the time it was all done, there was literally like 7 cop cars like 2 of them were blocking the road like a roadblock, like you would see in like GTA. Like we were going to somehow like run or something like that. Yeah. I don't know. It was
Grand Theft
man.
Speaker.
Yeah. That was the part where I lost it, where he was like, you stole this gear back here. And like, he didn't even ask. He just accused me of it. And that's when I was like, This is all wired up, man. This isn't like stuff that got jacked out of somebody's car and like thrown in a trunk. It's like, okay, man, whatever.
We didn't.
Yeah, go ahead.
We didn't just install this while you were following us. Like right behind us.
What? So, I mean, don't get me wrong. I was probably a little bit of a snotty teenager at the time with a little bit more attitude than I needed to have, at the same time. But that was a dumb thing to follow us around for and accuse us of with literally nothing to go on at that point.
Honestly, he should have just turned on his lights and asked you.
Yeah, realistically.
That was the thing that I was like, if he's following us for miles, like, why not just check us out right there?
Confirm your suspicions.
Did he think we were going to jump out and try to like steal stuff from a car with a cop car right behind? It's like, I don't know, man.
Listen, I'm dumb, but I'm not.
I mean, I did admit
dumb.
that yes, these are all dumb things, but yeah, like not that stupid.
That's funny, man. I bet that was terrifying though.
At first it was, because it was like I just remember looking at my buddy and I'm being like, "You're cool, right? You don't have like nothing on you, dude." He was like, "No, we're good, man."
You don't have any of that stuff from the movie theater.
Like, okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I have I don't know why, but I have this like unease around police officers. I don't break the law. I'm a good kid for the most part. I have no reason to just feel uneasy, but I feel like every time I see a cop, like at school, we'd have the resource officer, and then one day there was 5 of them. And I started like not panicking, but I'm like, what the hell is going on? I didn't do anything. Like I know. Do I have anything on me? Will I get in trouble? Even though I know damn well I don't.
There's a big difference between like, oh man, I hope that cop doesn't come over here, because like you have a reason to like worry about it, versus like if you've done absolutely nothing, then it's like, all right, well, I don't have to worry right now.
Yeah.
So you guys are gonna judge me for this, but
definitely.
My issue about being around cops is I have a lot of intrusive thoughts where I'm like, I bet I could grab that.
Oh, weren't you the one who sent me the picture? Weren't you the one that sent me the picture of the guy sitting in a car and he's like thinking, I bet I could grab his gun.
Yeah. With like one of those T-Rex heads on a stick. Yeah.
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 With the little.
Yeah.
I wonder if I could get it with
I'm not legit about it. Like, I'm not going to do anything.
That's not that. I mean, come on.
Like,
we've all thought about, like, I wonder if I could get away with robbing a bank. Right? Like,
No.
I think I'm smart enough to do it.
Like, I walked by.
I'm not going to do it, but I'm just saying, like, I think that's a normal.
I walked by a cop in Kroger, and, I just, you see a gun in public, and you're just like, oh, that's interesting. You don't see that very often. It's like, I bet I could grab that.
I live in Arizona. It's the Wild West, man. And they have open carry around here, so you see it all the time.
You have to get a permit for open carry here, so not many people want to go through the process.
You don't need a license. You don't need nothing, man. You can literally just walk around with one on your hip.
Dang. We recently passed a law to do with something with open carry or something like that. I have no idea how the law works, but it basically allows, from what I understand, you're 18 years old, you can get a gun with provided you pass your background check, and it's not like a pistol. It's like a hunting rifle.
Yeah,
like you can buy hunting rifles. But then they're also worked in open carry without permit.
Weird.
As long as it's open. Or
Strange.
something like that. Like, I'm not going to mess with it. I don't have any reason to buy a gun. So
you're safe. You got a butterfly knife.
Yeah. And a spoon.
I forget. I've got that that monkey's fist.
Yeah.
That thing will do some damage for me, man. All right. You want to go ahead and close this out here?
Is a monkey fist like brass knuckles?
A monkey's fist is a braided rope that has a knot on the end of it. But in that knot,
it's like a whip.
Yeah, in that knot, I have a billiards ball.
I got you. Okay,
that's
I have seen
massive.
Yeah.
There's no way you have that on like your keychain. Where do you? What? You
I wear it on my belt
with a pool ball in it.
People just think he really loves pool.
Yeah, I wore it mostly during the pandemic because workers were getting attacked outside the store for toilet paper, and I was working overnight.
Fair. That's
Dude,
valid.
People think we're dumb. That's the dumbest thing ever.
What, toilet paper?
The whole run on toilet paper, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was dumb. That was stupid.
Yeah.
It got to the point where I was the voice of reason about that because we don't buy boxes of tissues. It's like, oh, just blow your nose with toilet paper. It's fine. It does the same thing. And then we're sitting in the store, and they're out of toilet paper. We're not running out, but we wanted to get another bag or like another like 4-pack just in case. And I think it was my mom. I'm like, why don't we buy tissues? And she goes, I'm not going to use tissues instead of toilet paper. I'm like, no, you buy tissues and you use them as tissues. So you're not using the toilet paper to blow your nose. So now we're not wasting toilet paper. She goes, oh, that's a good idea.
I just snot.
So we bought 2 boxes of okay. I didn't need to know that.
Saves tissues.
Fair.
Not right in the sink, man.
No, not outside.
No.
Outside.
Then you can just wash it off. You're good to go.
Yeah, but you got like a beard, so like if you don't make it and it like gets in your
Oh.
beard and you don't notice, yeah, that's. Anyways,
That's how you shape it, man.
Anyways, this has been Filterless, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed. Before we actually close out, Ace, you want to drop socials and maybe explain how you can help the podcast out in the future?
Yeah, sure. So you can follow us on Instagram at The Filters Podcast, Twitter, The Filters PC, TikTok, The Filters Podcast. And you can send us some topics for things you'd like to see on Filterless at filterlesstopics@gmail.com. We'll probably reply, but there's no promises. You'll probably just have to DM Cat.
Or DM the Filterless socials, which will probably, in terms of us replying to it, it'll be email at probably not, or Filterless socials at maybe don't expect it, and then my DMs, you can always get a hold of me through my DMs because I'm bored a lot of the time and scroll through Instagram for no reason.
You most definitely will be able to get a hold of Cat.
Yeah, you'll most definitely be able to get a hold of me. Unless you open with something that seems like a scam, I'm not going to even open your message. I'm going to look at like the little version of it, like where it says like the small amount of text, and I'll go, nah. Josh, do you have anything you want to shout out?
Man, it's appreciate you guys having me on. We all share a love of podcasts. If you are a gamer, and you love chatting video games, I do co-host a gaming podcast called the Multiplayer Gaming Podcasts, which is actually where we all met.
Yeah.
So good things come about from playing video games with people and talking about them. So if you're inclined, check it out. Multiplayer Gaming Podcast.
Best gaming podcast this side of the universe.
Yeah,
I agree.
and universe.
Multiverse.
Yes,
Yeah.
the multiverse.
We'll be sure to put down links in the description because it's a fellow podcast on Apple. We'll probably just do like the Apple link or Spotify link, and you can get their socials through their description, I believe, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
It's
As for
just
me,
a taste of that.
yeah. As for me, you can find me everywhere at Dr. Catatonic. I stream. I post YouTube videos occasionally. I post dumb memes to Twitter more often than I should. And Ace, where can they find more Ace of Shame content if they really so desire it?
Well, currently the most common place you could find Ace of Shame content would be the Ace of Shame Twitter at Ace of Shame. We're working on getting some streaming stuff set up soon, and hopefully I'll have something to show for it. So you could also follow me at Ace of Shame on Twitch. So
Yep.
that'd be cool.
And be sure, if anyone is from this podcast and not from the multiplayer podcast, because we do have a lot of some bleeding in from their community to mine, go ahead and check them out. I believe they have a free Discord. I don't know. I paid for it, so.
He's sour about that. You hear that in his voice?
No, I'm not sour about it.
Right?
It was. I'm saying I'm better than you because I paid for it.
To be fair, it was only paid in the beginning, and then we were like,
it was like $5.
Wait a minit. I'm not saying he didn't reach out and ask for a refund.
No, okay, that is not what happened.
It's not true. I'm just kidding.
Dr. Catatonic refunds legendary pledge.
So if you guys want to go and bully Josh about liking pancakes, go ahead and hop in their Discord. Show them some love if you.
If
like
you want
gaming,
attention,
like
just join and say the Beatles are overrated.
Oh man,
Just join and tell the truth.
You'll get it
Just like
immediately.
tell the truth.
It's like throwing chum in the water for a shark.
It's beautiful.
And the shark's name is Paul.
Yeah.
Yo, should we get Paul to guest episode our music? What About You? And we could just rip on the Beatles the entire time.
No, I don't think we can handle what he would do to us on a podcast.
And
He
Paul
doesn't
will
have to
come with
filter
18
himself.
spreadsheets explaining why. It is, yeah.
Well, if you look at this Venn diagram. But yes, this has been Filterless, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Josh, do an outro. We forget to tell the guests this before.
Do what? Outro?
Yeah, say
Shit, what do you
something.
want?
Just
I say something, I'm giving up on you.
okay, fair enough.
Go fuck yourselves.
Right?